Hey Flosstube, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday, November 20 with Flosstube number 152. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube video about counted cross stitch. Appreciate you coming. And I, as always, appreciate all the lovely comments that I get. I think all but two over the history of me having a channel have been lovely comments, so I can't complain about that. And yeah, I just enjoy interacting with you and receiving the odd email, and yeah, it's great having this little community that I'm part of. So 10 days until summer, 10 days, 20th of November. I'm like kind of freaking out because I have 23 days of work left this year, and miracles to achieve before then. Yeah, I go on leave on the 22nd of December, or is that my last day? I can't remember now. And go back to work until the 9th of January, which will be a nice 2.5 week break. So 3 weeks away. Work things, we had a work off-site last week, which was quite funny because every team in my directorate was supposed to do a 10-minute something to sum up the year, like a list of achievements, interpretive dance, whatever. Our team went a bit left of field. My team is kind of like, we work in programs and architecture, so most of us, we're direct reports to our manager. We only have one team lead, which is a handful of business analysts, and we have a lot of contractors reporting to project managers and stuff. So our team's both small and big, depending on which lens you take. But we decided to kind of just do a big list of things we've worked on, things we've achieved, things that are just stuff. And one of the guys put the list of achievements, he did a great job. He rewrote them as the lyrics to Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire. And then we as a group sang that. So my manager's got a pretty good voice and plays a bit of guitar, is in a bit of a band. So he recorded the lyrics to him playing guitar and sent that round as an MP3 for us to have a wee practice with. And then we had one awkward rehearsal. 3 of us were in the office, everyone, and a handful of others joined via Teams, which is weird because, when you talk, it cuts out of the microphones. Anyway, it was just bizarre. And there were probably 24 of us on the day, and we'd not rehearsed together. Went really well. So we were about like 2.5 minutes. My boss did a quick little intro, and we just had the lyrics up on screen. And of course, it's all geeky IT stuff, and everybody knew what we were going on about. People laughed at the right points because there was some sort of like roll your eyes stuff in there. And we got great applause and all that. And every other team, which to be fair, have a number of team leads, so they're a lot more of a vertical kind of structure, whereas our team, because of our skill set, we're all kind of quite a senior and experience, not age. So we kind of, we're a bit more flat, but each of those sub-teams did like their own PowerPoint presentation. So I tried to make it a bit funny, but there's only so much funny you can get after 2.5 hours of PowerPoint. And by the time each little sub-team had done their 15 or so minutes, it was like 2.5 hours, and ours was like 2.5 minutes. So it was recorded and is being shared with the executive leadership team, which is like kind of cringy but funny as well. So if anything, hopefully it shows that we in IT can be A, creative, B, have a bit of a laugh, and C, not be too outwardly geeky. Anyway, it was kind of fun, but that was sort of like this work thing that it was like this whole quite dry thing, and then we had this random little song in the middle, which it was quite funny. Anyway, that's work. Speaking of end of year things, we're well into the thick of it already. I had the first of many team end of year / get ready for Christmas kind of things with the infrastructure team, which I'm not in but work really closely with. I attend their stand-ups and stuff because my projects are so reliant on resources from that team. So we're sort of a foster relationship, let's call it. So we had that on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday because I couldn't go to book club. But I work in government, you don't really get that much. So we all contributed like $20 towards food, and then a couple of the team leads put on a bit of extra cash as well, and the manager of that team, and then we buy our own drinks because we're not allowed to buy alcohol with government money in our government agency, which I think is kind of fair enough, although let's just say people don't get so drunk when you're buying your own drinks, do you? Anyway, so that was that one. Yeah, Wednesday this week, sort of end of year thing for my project. It's just all starting. There's so many random little end of year things coming up that I get a bit grinchy and go, oh my God, you know, because you end up eating really badly, having too many late nights and drinking too much alcohol. Even though I only had one glass of wine, so I was very reserved. Dad's doing okay. I've called him a couple of times and he's been out and about. I rang him on maybe Friday, and he was round at friends and had just had a large gin poured. So I was like, well, I'll leave you to your gin and your friends, and then he rang me yesterday in a bit of a dilemma. I said, I've got a dilemma. On my phone, there's a whole lot of gobbledygook. And I was like, oh, he said, I don't know what to do. I said, well, it's just an update from your iPhone update that came through overnight. Just hit accept or yes or I agree or whatever it is. He goes, oh, but I've read through it. My father scrolled through the Apple terms and conditions that popped up on his phone. And I'm like, wow, that's more than 99.9% of people do. He said, I don't understand it. I said, don't worry about it. Just hit accept. He said, oh, but what am I accepting? I said, you're accepting the Apple terms and conditions, without which you won't get updates. And if you don't accept the updates, then your phone will stop working eventually. I said, don't worry. All it is you're promising to give your firstborn child, and that's me. I take full responsibility for telling you to hit accept. He's like, oh, of course he has accepted them before, but A, he's forgot, and B, whenever I've helped him with his phone, I've just accepted it on his behalf. So he probably hasn't seen them that often. But yeah, they are ridiculous. Like, you know, they have you over a barrel, right? They can always say, well, you accepted the terms and conditions. Like, yeah, but you didn't make them accessible, understandable. So he did that. So that was yesterday's conversation. And then he went into some political stuff, which I didn't want to talk about because we disagree about that. So we just don't worry about talking about politics. Let's just say he votes differently to me, but that's okay. What else? That's pretty much it, really, I think. Busy week coming up. Going to the pool tonight, so I haven't washed my hair. I'm going to go do some laps. And then with my neighbour, it's raining again. I was dressed to go out and do some gardening or some weeding, and it just started raining. All it's done the last little while is rain and then get really, really hot and humid, and then rain and get hot and humid. I think Friday night I got out and did about an hour of weeding, and I could hear the thunder and see the dark grey clouds coming towards me, and I pretty much basically just waited till I felt the first raindrops before I went in. I went to Guild yesterday. Yeah, Thursday's the ballet. I'm so excited. So I'll give a bit of an update next week on that. It's one that has been cancelled twice during COVID. So third time's a charm. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a triple bill called Venus Rising. And they tend to have I love triple bills because they tend to be at least two contemporary ballets, and I love contemporary ballet, more sort of interpretive, less story. I mean, story's fine, but I do love a lot of I like flailing. That's what I like. That's how I call contemporary ballet. A lot of flailing. Stitching. I don't have anything new. I haven't bought anything. I haven't bought a PDF even. So no new acquisitions. I do have my Rainbow Club and probably Silks for You will be on their way to me tomorrow. I think that Catherine said she'll get them in the post on 21st. So probably next weekend, all going well with the postal system, I will have my monthly package from Catherine and Silks for You to share. Other than that, I haven't bought anything. I've been trying to be a bit better. I've been buying tickets to stuff, like shows that cost hundreds of dollars. But I have got quite a bit of stitching done, despite having been out a couple of nights and not home. I don't know. It has rained quite a lot, so what are you going to do? Stitch. My 50 at 50 start this week wasn't until Friday, because that was the Moroccan Sampler on Moroccan Independence Day, and it was the 18th of November. So I had the rest of the week to work on whips, and I worked on several whips. First up, I don't think it's first up actually. I think I've got these completely in the wrong order, but that's okay. Yeah, these are all in the wrong order. Never mind. Okay, during the week I picked up Lampposts, which is from StitchMomStudio, which I think now, I did get this on Etsy, but I think now they're on InspireUplift. They're no longer, I think they're a Russian site, so closed on Etsy. And it's this one here, which I am stitching on 35 count Lilac Grove from Country Stitch with some of the called for DMC. I've substituted, I think I've only substituted one. 414 for 413. I needed to go a little bit darker because I'm on darker fabric. And this was start number 37 back in September. I think it was on daylight saving. So when you last saw it, I had the bottom row done, and I've since got the next row and two of the lamppost blocks in, and the stitching surrounding the lampposts is the only place you use the lightest colour, and it does kind of glow. I had thought about changing it inside the lamppost to a yellow, like, you know, but actually the really light peachy colour does glow really well. Yeah, so got that row done. Again, working I think kind of backwards, because I think that's what I stitched Friday and Saturday. No, not Friday. I must have just stitched this yesterday. I must have stitched that yesterday. So when I went to Guild, I picked up, I like to take a 32 count project with me when I go stitching in the wild, because I don't need a fancy light. So I picked up Rachael Holmes from Heartstring Samplery by Beth the Twist. So this is a modern sampler, but based on inspired by an old sampler. And I've talked about this before. I'm going to personalise it to be like a commemoration of my great aunt on my mum's side, my grandfather's sister, Auntie Moo as we called her, Muriel. And just because for me the colours and the prettiness of it reminds me of like we used to visit her, and we were allowed to look in and sometimes take out and play with some things from her china cabinet. She had one of those little glass fronted china cabinet that had pretty little you know, English china and little figurines and pretty porcelain things, you know, teacups with roses and stuff on it, and this just reminds me of the pretty delicateness of that experience. I don't know, it just fits her really. So this is on 32 count Light Mocha, which I think is from Zweigart. I'm not sure. I had written down weeks, but it's not an over dye, it's a solid, and anyway, I don't know. And I'm using my own silk conversion, which I think is 100% Silks for You. This was start number 33 back in the 1st of September. This is what we did, is where we're at. So yesterday I got the row of white birds in, and brought some more of the border up, that top border line, and I got all of the back stitching. Those chevrons are all rows of back stitching in various colours, and I think it looks lovely. So now, next time I pick this up, I finally get to do the eyelets. So I'm thinking about doing them as Smyrna crosses. So yeah, in here, in this section here, there are lots of, some of the diamonds are eyelets, but yeah, I'm thinking I might do Smyrna crosses. We'll see. I do prefer a Smyrna cross to an eyelet. It's a little bit less work. You do, like, you know, full crosses over 2 rather than having to do lots of, anyway, you know, if you know, you know. If you don't, you know, then you just got to give it a go. So I think I might do the Smyrna crosses, and yeah, ready to go. Very excited. So it's nice to make a little bit of progress on that. I got most of that done while I was at Guild, and then when I got home I finished. I think I had two colours of the chevrons to do, so essentially 3 rows back and forward, and that's when I picked up Lighthouses, the lampposts again. But I think that I had picked up lampposts on Thursday. Don't quote me, I don't really remember. Friday was my new start number 44 or 50, which was the Moroccan Sampler by Cliffside Stitches, which I got off of Etsy ages ago, and I've made quite a few changes. I think I've only kept 1 colour as called for. There's my colour list here if you can read it. And this is on 36 count Persimmon by Fibre on a Whim, and using my own DMC conversion. And I got a little bit of a start on it, a pretty good start. You can see all of the colours. I do love, oops, that's backwards. The predominant colour is that mid blue, and that's where we go. On screen, the yellow is probably blending in a little bit to the Persimmon. They're very similar tonally. There's quite a bit of yellow in this fabric. You can sort of see in here, there's quite a bit of, hold it to the light correctly, you can see quite a bit of yellow in there. But it is more visible in person. It is subtle, but yeah, really, I quite like it. So that's where I got to on that one. Just a nice little start. Each of the boxes is outlined in the darkest, the navy. That's the only place you use the navy, is in the back stitch around each of the blocks, which gives them a little bit of definition. Yeah, cute wee start. Happy to carry on with that. I like that each of the boxes is different, so none of the patterns repeat outside of each of the boxes, so it's kind of cool. Earlier in the week, I was inspired by a couple of people posting on our New Zealand Facebook cross stitch Facebook group that they were working on one of the Teresa Wentzler Carousel Horses, and it reminded me that I really need to do a little bit. So I pulled out my Teresa Wentzler 4 that I started way back on the 1st of March this year, start number 7 or 50. Excuse me, losing my voice. Yeah, I've got a long way to go on this, and it's the sort of thing that really needs me to focus on it. So this is all called for 32 count cream linen by Zweigart, and you probably won't even be able to see where I worked because a lot of it's really cream. So I did, I can see better than I thought. In this side, you can probably see the beigey stripes. There are some paler rows in between, so I got a lot more of that in. And I then did some of the back stitching. So again, hard for you to see. Along the bottom outside edge of this dark berry colour, there's back stitching. And then I started on the back stitching just along here on this rope edge. So I don't have it on that side, but I got that little bit in there just to start working through. So I'm gonna, next time I pick it up, I'll work on more of the leaves that come up here, and then I can back stitch them as I go. So I probably spent a couple of hours on it. You can't really tell. So it's more obvious in person. I guess on this side I don't have those cream stitches in, and on that side I do have the cream stitches in. Definitely a lot more visible in person. I mean, it's more of a texture thing than it is overt, but I got a little bit done. So, you know, hopefully in 2023 I'll find time to get a little bit more done. Still working backwards. Earlier in the week I've got 2 more projects, by the way. I've done a lot of whips. I picked up Rule of Life by Modern Folk Embroidery, which I love this, and every time I pick it up I'm like, oh, I love it so much, and then you put it away and forget about it, which is really bad. So Rule of Life by Modern Folk Embroidery on 40 count parchment by Country Stitch, using the called for Leo Roxy Yarn Co floss, although they're rebranding now to Roxy Floss Co, I think. And on, yeah, the Country Stitch linen. Start number 27 back in July. And I got quite a bit of this done. That's where we're at. Since you last saw it, I got those, basically I got three of the lamb tins on this side, so from here all the way up done, and I got 3 on each side, so I was about here up, and then I got those these 3 and these 2 little things above the alphabet done, and yeah, 3 lanterns on each side. So we're up to a row of trees and a berry bowl, a couple of birds, and then the phrase. So well over halfway, definitely well over halfway. In the amount of stitching, we're right just a little bit over halfway. I think halfway's about here, but there's a lot more stitching here than there is here. So quite excited with the progress on that one. And I do enjoy these colours. They're so warm and subtle, but just, you know, yummy. And one more project. So I started off the week on Sunday night. I picked up Fraktur 12. So this is by Stitching Spell, who again I purchased this when they were on Etsy, but they are now available on InspireUplift, and just one of their Fraktur Birds, Fraktur Bird 12. I think they are on InspireUplift. And stitching this all tweaked the DMC. Once I pulled the threads, they weren't like the picture or didn't work on my linen, so I tweaked, I think, 4 of them. 40 count Cornstraw by Country Stitch, which this was start number 35 back on the 11th of September. And here is my progress. Since you last saw it, I got all of this sort of grey colour on the leaves and all these little buds down here, and these 2 flowers. I got them all done. So I got quite a bit done on that. We're pretty much at the point now we've got to put the bird in, because the bird sits above this. There is more flower and foliage above the bird, but I need to get the bird in because I ain't counting. So yeah, we'll start working on the bird and also the little date, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the date yet. I might look through my family tree and just find some random dates for dates of birth of great-grandparents or something. Yeah, so that was a lot of stitching, right? So again, it's raining, so I guess I'll probably do some more stitching this afternoon. I don't know. Oh, I do have start number 45 today, and I'm starting it today. And it's going to be one of my relatively new kit ups, so Firebird Sampler by Tinsel Cross Stitch, which is from Etsy, and this is on Gonna be on 35 count Toy Toy by Country Stitch. Yeah, I stitch a lot on Country Stitch because she's fabulous and local, and that's the main two reasons. It's fabulous and local. So start number 45 today. So the Toy Toy, if you watched one of my videos a few weeks ago, you would have seen this. So the Toy Toy is this, just a nice neutral. I've stitched other things on Toy Toy, and I haven't put them on a ring. And I have this bundle of joy, all these beautiful bright colours, and I'm looking forward to it. All in silk, and I think all in silk's for you. No, yes, all in silk's for you, because I do have a stash of it. So I'm looking forward to getting that started. So it's going to be start number 45, and that will leave me with 5 starts to go. And then 50 at 50 will be done. And a reminder that on the 1st of December, I'm kicking off this. So my start number 46 will be on the 1st of December. I'm going to be stitching Cherry Parker's New Zealand Flower Ball. You can find that on Etsy if you just Google Cherry Parker and cross stitch ball or flower. She's other balls. If you want to join me, it's at least me, I'll try and hashtag it. I'm going to use the NZ Flowers Ball and Cherry Parker Designs as my hashtags, and I'm stitching this on a variation of the cord pull fabrics. I will use the cord pull DNC. I think I'm using white 25 count Nagata instead of antique white because I have a bunch of it in my stash, and I'm using the sage green and the ice blue, I think it is as well, which I called for. So it's quite big. It's gonna be about this big, I think. So bigger than a softball, or bigger. But smaller than a basketball. There you go. There's my frame of reference. So yeah, do join along if you want to. I'll give a quick run through of, I did this last week, what I'd been watching on Flosstube for the previous couple of weeks. I went through my history because I didn't think I was going to have enough to talk about. So some of the Flosstubers that I've been watching this week, majority of these I don't watch all the time. But I watched, these are the ones that I watched since last Sunday. So I watched Garon Stitchery, number 20. And again, I'm going back in time, because this seems to be how I'm doing this video. I'm starting with what I did most recently. So your Garon Stitchery, number 20 again. Don't watch all of these. Their videos are very long, and a lot of it's haul or shop haul. And I'm less, fast forward. I don't need to see every single thing that comes in, especially when I'm trying not to spend money. I watched Brenda and the Serial Starter number 84. Now I do watch most of their videos, and they're great, but their videos are quite long, and also I do get a little bit overwhelmed sometimes with all the haul because I get anxiety from it. That's my thing. It can be a bit overwhelming for me. Nara's Crafts. Nara is a local to us. She was at Guild yesterday. And she put up Flosstube number 2 yesterday. Nice, short and sweet, and she's new to Flosstube, so she was a bit surprised at how long her video was. I think 13 minutes or something. I don't know. She gave a little bit of a whip parade there. And then I watched Stitching with Fortnight Fabrics number 54. Again, I don't watch them all the time. I did used to way back when they were Married with Stitches, but they were only posted every fortnight. Then they went a bit quiet while they're getting their business established. I enjoy them, but I just don't always get to watch them. I watched the Museum Stitcher number 13. Again, I don't watch all of her videos, or I haven't to date anyway, but she has some lovely whips and lovely projects, and lovely shiny hair, which mine is not lovely and shiny today. Jan Hicks Creates. Again, I don't watch all of Jan because she has long videos. I did used to watch her more frequently when she was in Hawaii, but she did 3 videos a week, which is ironic. I probably watched her more then, but I did watch her video number 160, and that was fun. She had quite a bit of progress, and she had a guest with her, which was a nice dynamic. If only I had someone to talk to, but I don't. I watched Evertote Notes from the Workshop. That's a relatively new channel, which is more business focused. I enjoy having the business and the Friday off the grid stuff separated. And then I watched StitchMomStudio. Again, I don't watch her every week, but video number 250. And it was nice to see that she finally finished one of her full coverage pieces that she's been working on for a couple of years. And yeah, congratulations for that, because that's no mean feat. And then North Island Stitcher, I watched Nicole, her video number 7, and that was nice to see what Nicole's been working on. The other ones that I watched, I'll try and link them down below, which takes quite a bit of time, copying all those links, but I will do that. I'm trying to get better at it. And that's pretty much it. So do go along, and I can recommend all of those videos that I watched this last week. Thank you again for coming along. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Down below in the description, I always have, I don't mention this very often at all, but in the doobly-doo down below, I do always have some information about how to contact me if you want to. I have a link to buy me a coffee. I have, almost always, back in the early days I may not have, but I always add in information about all of the projects that I show you. So the project, the designer, the fabric, and materials that I'm using if I know them. And I'm starting to link to any Flosstube that I mentioned as well. So there's quite a lot of information in there. Don't be afraid to hit that little more link and have a look at that. Send me, thanks to a couple of people too that sent me a couple of things that I could talk about at my next Needles on Fire Stitch With Me, which won't be this weekend, but definitely coming up soon. I will find some time to record that, and yeah, I've got a couple of topics, so that's nice to have something to break the ice. As we know, I can rabbit on and fill in the void if I need to, but I am very conscious that when I'm not staring at myself on a camera and just sitting on my couch stitching, I could forget to talk. That would be weird. Weird for me anyway. Take care, find joy in your stitching, and as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.